Playing pop melodies on your saxophone, it is great fun, but the reality is most of us end up sounding like beginners, even though we get all of the notes right, and here's why. Pro players approach playing pop melodies by making a few important changes. They're small changes, but they make a huge difference to the way a melody sounds, and it really brings a melody to life. So today we're going to understand what those changes are so you can implement them into your playing. And I thought it might be fun actually to bring in a player called Sami Perfecto that I think is brilliant at playing pop melodies, and he's got a huge following on TikTok playing pop melodies. But most importantly, he's got a 5-step process that he uses to make every pop melody really sound amazing. So let's get stuck in. Hey Sami, this is such a great melody. I love the way Bruno Mars and Gaga play this. How would you approach playing that chorus? Can we have a listen to you playing it?
For sure. I'll play like this.
Oh, yeah, man. Brilliant, brilliant. Love it, love it. Love that sound. It is a great melody, this. But, you know, when I think about all of our students, we've got thousands of people that we're helping every day over at Sax School. A lot of them love playing pop melodies, but they would approach this melody and make the same mistakes that cause them to sound more like a beginner. So if we broke that down, Sami, using your 5-step process, what's the first step on that journey to help you play the way you play that just then?
Yes, the first step for me would be to know the lyrics. It's very important to have a context of what it is you're playing. And especially this song is so deep and so profound. If the world was ending, I want to be next to that special person, that person that means so much to you. So one thing is playing a melody without, I'm just gonna play a melody just to play it, versus I'm gonna play this melody thinking of that special person who I just never want to leave ever. And now all of a sudden I'm feeling, wow, I feel some passion, I feel some sadness, I feel some nostalgia, some worry. If I lose this person, like my emotions themselves already, I'm feeling a little bit of goosebumps approaching this this song. And something else, knowing the lyrics also helps me organize the song into knowing when the notes are going higher, when the notes are going lower, when I'm playing the same note repeatedly. And that's a big important thing just to know before starting the song.
No, I love it, man. It's amazing. It seems like such a simple thing. If you were singing the song, you'd absolutely know the lyrics, but we often gloss over that whole point of knowing the lyrics when we're playing a song. And yet, all of us, I bet you feel the same way, Sami, when you listen to a play that you absolutely love. You get that emotional connection as you listen to that recording. And I think, like you said just there, super important, that emotional connection that we feel as a listener starts with the emotional connection the player feels, right?
For sure, for sure. I think sometimes something that doesn't go into consideration as musicians is we are actors too. If we don't feel what we're playing, what we're portraying to the public, is gonna be dull and meaningless and without feeling. But once we become and we embody the emotion we're feeling, everybody who hears you play is gonna feel that same emotion, that same feeling, times 2.
I love it. I love it. So can you give us a quick example of one phrase, just one phrase where you play it without an emotion, and then turn that emotional dial up and play it a second time with all that feeling?
Okay, I like it. I like the idea. Let's try it out. So that would be the version without emotion.
Okay, so let's hear it with some emotion. All that Spanish emotion. Come on, go for it.
Yeah, let's get it.
Woo! Woo! I'm feeling a bit sweaty over here myself now. Love it. There's a lot of other things that are going on in your playing there, and we'll, I'm sure, cover those as we work through our list of your 5-step process. But we've talked about knowing the lyrics. What's the second important step then?
For sure. Keep the melody simple. Keep melody simple. That's it.
Okay,
Don't
cool.
try
So just tell me a bit about that, because I can hear you doing lots of stuff when you're playing that melody. So are you talking about the basic framework of the melody and keeping that simple? And is it more about the rhythm, or tell me what you mean?
Yeah, great question. Sometimes we try to add a lot of embellishments early on before just understanding the basic note changes. Ba ba bee bo ba 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 bee. First, I would just focus on having the rhythmic idea perfectly, the notes perfectly with the rhythm before even starting to add anything of embellishment, uh, any embellishments and things like that.
Yeah, love it, love it. You know, that's such a great piece of advice with learning any piece of music, really, getting that foundation right. So then you've got a solid thing that you can build on. Something that comes to my mind too is when I listen to Bruno and Gaga singing this song, there's an amazing amount of clarity to the way they approach the verses and the choruses. It's really, really accurate. There's no wishy-washy stuff in there. And for me, and something we talk, it's important to me, something we talk to our students about a lot, is the fact that when you listen to a great performer like Bruno and Gaga, they've got a rhythmical clarity to the way they perform. It's the same if you listen to Dave Coles, or if you're listening to John Coltrane, or if you're listening to Michael Brecker, or whoever you happen to be into, they have that same focus and clarity. And I think it's really important to get that in our playing. But what you're saying is we can do that right at the start as we learn the melody, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's sometimes when we don't have that rhythmic clarity and we're not moving with the phrase, with the right notes, it gets very difficult very fast, and it makes it sound like we don't know how to play. It makes it sound like noob. So sometimes just mastering the first phrase and making sure that rhythm is perfect and the notes are perfect, that's a great way to start this simple.
Okay, so if you were learning this yourself or maybe helping a student with it, would you break down the whole, like we're looking at the chorus of this song, would you break down that whole chorus into sections and learn it in sections first?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I would
So,
focus. Yeah, go ahead.
so as an example, with this long chorus, what would be the first phrase?
So that first phrase for me would be, if the world was standing, I want to be next. That's the first part where at the end of next, I'm going to take the first breath of the song. So I want to focus on that line, make sure that I know the notes and I know the rhythm. Ba ba bee bo ba bee, and I would
Love
just
it.
practice, give it lots of repetitions, make sure I can play it at least 3 to 5 times perfect without making any mistakes. And if necessary, slow it down first, because sometimes we sin of wanting it so fast that we tend to practice it at the same speed in which they are singing it. And sometimes it's okay to take it down and spend some time beep 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 beep. And if you're making a mistake before you end that phrase, I would even dare to break it down even further if necessary.
That's brilliant, Sammy. Okay, so we've covered quite a lot of stuff already, but you mentioned something on point 2 about breathing. So is that the third thing in your 5-step process?
Yes, breathing using our air is very important, because when we take a breath in the middle of a phrase, it can absolutely break and make the song just stop in momentum and energy. When we take like for example, if the world was ending, I want to be oof. Sometimes we have to be very mindful of when we take our breaths as to not interrupt that energy of if the world was ending, I want to be next. We want to get to that next, that high point before we get to before we even take a breath, so that we conserve that energy, that momentum, and that phrase really goes where it needs to go.
Love it, love it. I always think about the way that the singer that first performed that song would breathe, because as a singer, like breathing is so important. And actually, when we're talking, we're breathing all the time, and we tend to not think about the fact that we're actually quite decisive about where we breathe in our talking as well. But definitely, if you look at a singer, you can see where they're breathing, and they're doing it for the same reasons that we do on saxophone, right? So I'll bet Gaga and Bruno are breathing at that point too, or maybe even breathing all the way through that phrase and the next phrase and doing it one long phrase. Cool. So would you say when somebody's learning a song, you mentioned already about breaking it down into phrases, do you think they should also mark, or if they're working from music, like make a decision and mark where they're going to breathe so they always practice it in?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. For me, visual cues are very important. And when I just play it by ear and I go the next day and practice it, I forget so many things. So it is very important to have that reminder there, so that
Yeah.
every time you practice it and you're getting those repetitions in, you know it's gonna be there. And eventually after 5, 10 days, it's gonna be so automatic, you're not gonna have to even think about it. But during those early stages of learning the song, 100%. I still do it to this day.
Hey, just real quick, these pop skills we're talking about today are just the tip of the iceberg. And you know, if you can approach all of your playing with the same sort of focus, it's incredible what you can achieve. And that's what our members are doing inside Sax School with our structured 9-level learning curriculum, our huge range of courses, and our amazing tutor team, not to mention our worldwide community of thousands of learners. You can check it all out for free with a 14-day trial. It means you can kick the tires and see if it's a good fit for you. We'd love to help you in there. Go check out the link down below, or go to saxschoolonline.com to start your 14-day trial. I'd love to help you with pop playing or any other style that you're interested in. Go check it out, saxschoolonline.com. Right, let's get back to Sami. So we've spoken about knowing the lyrics and then keeping the melody simple, using your air. So now we've got the sort of basic foundation of the song together. So we've got 2 points left in your system. What's the fourth point? At what stage, like, what are we ready to add in now?
Yeah, once we know the song and we feel comfortable with the melody, now is the time to add the cool stuff, to add the embellishments.
Okay, cool. So I guess embellishments change depending on the style, right? So for this song, what are some simple embellishments that someone watching this could add in?
For a beginner pop player, something I really like to teach is chromatic approaches. I know that
Okay.
sometimes the word chromatic can sound intimidating, but it's a lot easier than what it sounds. For example, at the beginning, when we have the first note that we have is a D sharp, instead of just playing that D sharp, the simple fact of adding a D natural before playing that D sharp, it makes it sound so delicious. So this is me without the embellishment. This is with the embellishment.
Hang on, Sammy. Let me try that. So. A really easy one. Let me show you actually. So here's my fingers. So we're going from D to D sharp. But I wonder if, Sammy, there's something else going on. Are you also bending that D?
Yes, for sure. Just slightly, because already the D is giving us that bend effect. But when we relax a little bit, just slightly, our lower lip, we can bend it just a little bit more to get more game out of it.
I love it. I love it. More game. All right. So I'm getting your energy over here, man. I love it. I love it. So, can you just to break down that and make it really clear for everyone? Can you play the grace note or that a chromatic approach note just straight, D to D sharp, and then can you play it with the bend in so people can
For
hear the
sure.
difference?
This is without. And now with the bend.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. It's a really great effect. And when you do it slowly, it's exaggerated. But when you do it in context, it just sounds really stylistic. Love it. So you mentioned that there was also another place where you could use some chromatic, maybe like a chromatic run or something.
Yes, that very first F sharp, we played those two D sharp, if the world. So that gives us that vocal effect that many vocalists do. Da da we. So the same way we can replicate that emotion and that effect that vocalists do is doing a chromatic approach to that high F sharp, which will look like this. And the cool thing about this one is that it's very short and very easy to learn because all we're doing, we're going to D from D sharp, E, F natural to F sharp. Super
Yeah,
easy.
fantastic. Fantastic. So easy to do. And you could apply that sort of process of chromatic approach notes all the way over this melody, right? Not too much, but enough to make it sound good.
Yeah, sometimes we sin out of just doing it all the time, and a little bit is great, but when it's overused,
Yeah, yeah. So I think approach notes are brilliant. So we've got approach notes, we've got the bending, we've also got like chromatic runs up that you mentioned. And I suppose if we took it even a step further, a lot of pop songs, this is a good example, over that whole progression, you can use a pentatonic scale. So for example, for this one, I'm pretty sure it was like an F sharp major pentatonic. So we could use the major pentatonic to do all sorts of little extra fills around the melody, right?
ooh,
Yeah. So it's about finding what that scale is that fits around the harmony and then playing around with it. Love it. Love it. So we've built a really great solid foundation and then we have started to add some embellishments, but I feel like there's still one last thing that's missing. I mean, I know we haven't got to the fifth element here yet. I'm curious to know what that is because what is the fifth thing that really brings your pop melodies to life when you're playing it, Sammy? I can hear it.
great question, Nigel, and that is to make them feel it. You
Okay.
have to make people feel it. And if we are approaching the song with the same volume and not, or just a little bit piano or mezzo piano or fortissimo loud the whole time, it loses any type of emotion that you could convey with this song. So sometimes I like to organize and be aware what are the high points of the song, what are the important big moments that I want to get to, and how do I get to these moments of the song from a very humble, soft sort of energy. If the world was ending, I wanna be next to you. And towards that end of the phrase, you have a little bit more, yes, I wanna be next to you. And the volume gets a little bit stronger. But if we're soft throughout the whole phrase, or if we're forte and strong throughout the whole phrase, there's nothing much you can do. But if I start soft and gradually and slowly start building that phrase up to get to that point, oh, it's
No, I
so
love it.
good.
I love it. So you mentioned back at the start about knowing the lyrics, and we talked a bit about the sort of the emotional connection with the lyrics. And I guess this is the tactical way that we can take that emotion and portray it and pass it across to our listener. So I love that. So being tactical about where you're quiet, where you're loud, where you're intense. I was listening to the way Gaga was singing some sections in this, and she's even growling on some of the notes in the way she's singing it. So do you listen for things like that in the original and then think about how you can apply those things onto your saxophone as well?
Oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, I do have some growls that I would like to do, but I don't know if that's a topic that you want to get into today.
We can talk about that on another video, but I think it'd be
Okay.
really interesting to see or to hear some of the phrases where you are using growling and where it's really getting that emotion up. So is it toward the end of the chorus?
So I have it in a couple of spots. I would say at the end of I want to be next to you is one of our big goals at the beginning. Another great place we're building towards is and our time on earth was through. And then from then on, I want to hold you just for a while. And then again, another big moment. And die with a smile. So I would say the big moments of this song is to you was through. And the last one, and die with a smile. And then right after the die with a smile, we're going into the crescendo, into if the world was ending, like that very private moment with that person just next to you. You don't want it to be very loud. No. You already put your heart out there for this person, and you had that moment. So now it's just that moment of intimacy, just really intimate with this person, and very private, alone. I
love
think
it.
this is not PG anymore.
I feel like we're having a moment, Sammy. I feel like we're having a moment here. Right. I tell you what. Can you play the whole chorus for us? So putting all of these elements in together.
For sure.
Love it. Fantastic.
Thank you.
That is awesome. I meant to ask you though. Tell me about your mouthpiece and your reed setup, and what's that ligature you're using?
Oh, for sure. Right now I have a Meyer. The aperture, the opening is a 6.
Maya 6. Okay, love it.
Right now I'm using the Java Red Cut.
Oh,
It's
yeah?
3.5, but nah, man, 3.5s are too much. It's because I recently changed from playing lower lip tuck.
Yeah.
Now I'm having it a little bit more untuck.
Yeah.
And that's definitely changed a lot of things in my sound and in my playing and in my reed strength. Like it's too much for a 3.5 to be playing like
Yeah.
lower lip. And this is ridiculous, man. This is ridiculous. It's from Sios.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
They
yeah.
I sell their products as well. I have a relationship with them.
Yep.
And they given me, their mouthpieces to try out. And if I want to try out any mouthpiece, there's that trust, there's that relationship.
Yeah,
And
of course.
I fell in love with the ligature. I was like, I need that.
It's funny. It looks great.
Yeah, it's like, what is that? It makes
Yeah.
people stay just a little bit longer just
It
to
does.
be like, huh?
It does. Yeah, definitely. Hey, thanks so much for sticking to the end. I really hope that that's helped you and you'll put those 5 steps into action in your playing. But for now, go check out this video. This will really help you with the next steps.